Hi, everybody. Welcome to this call. I'm Dale Franklin, your host. Um, you know, predominantly there's some people here from America, but many of you are from Africa. I want to say hi to all my friends in Africa. I miss you. As many of you know, I've been to Africa 7 times in the last few years. I feel it's almost like a second home to me. I always enjoy when I go there. I feel the friendship and just the grace of the people in Africa. I just connect, and I feel blessed to have as many friends as I do over there. I got an important announcement today for anybody listening on here. It's just a little bit of training, and that's what I'm going to start with. Just a little bit of training before we get Lennon on. And I'm going to share my screen so I can just show you guys a little something here. Okay. Hopefully everybody can see this. Who do I have here on the screen that I can see? There's nobody. Okay. Anyway, here's the website. When you guys join, you get your website. It looks just like this. I think one of our weaknesses, and you have to address weaknesses if you're going to address strengths, is that when we enroll people into this business, we don't a lot of times give them some sort of an orientation on how to proceed after they've joined. And I just want to go through this real quickly. I'm going to show you. Okay, now you're on your website. You want to go into what's called your back office. Okay, you're going to click on login up here. Most of you know this already, but I just want to bring it to everybody's attention. You'd put in your username that you chose when you joined on the top box, and the bottom box you'd use your password, whatever your password was when you chose when you joined, and you would log in. Now this is an account for my wife that I set up so that I could do some demos. The important thing, the main thing I want to just show here real quickly is if you go to the home page menu and you go to user billing and information, okay, the thing that I want to make sure we're all doing correctly is once you join, I want to make sure you get paid. Okay, it's not that the company doesn't pay, but some of the ways we have to pay in Africa, they're cumbersome. Okay, so we're always working on better ways. Now, if you see here, you go into payment options. The one that you see first is Payoneer, and that's what the African market has been using for a long time. To be honest with you, I'm not happy with it. It takes sometimes up to 3 months to get your Payoneer card, your debit card, like a MasterCard. And, you know, that's just too long to wait. We want our people to make money quickly and to get paid quickly. So again, I'm just to address this. In our country, in the United States, we use the direct deposit method. That's not going to work for a lot of Africans, especially the ones, if we're officially open in Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, and in Kenya. Okay, we have offices in those countries. If you're in those countries, getting paid is fairly simple. But if you're not, if you're in a country that we're opening, you know, like DRC, Uganda, Tanzania, now we're talking Botswana and Namibia and a few others. If you're in those countries, it's a little more difficult. And there's a couple of things you want to remember. When you go back up here, I'm going to take you out of this for a second and go back to homepage and back to user billing here. When you get into the business, they ask you what country you're from, and actually I guess that's in the application. I guess it won't show here, but at any rate, when you sign up to become a member, if you're from, say you're from Uganda, Tanzania, the DRC, until it's officially open there, we need you to put in the country that you're getting your product from. So in other words, if you're signing up in East Africa and you're probably getting your product from Kenya, you want to sign up as a Kenyan. Now, I know this goes against the grain because everybody's proud of their own countries, and if you're doing well in this and you're on the leaderboard, you want to show your own flag. You want to show that, you know, that you know, you're from Uganda or from Tanzania or wherever, and you're proud of that. I don't blame you. But for payment sakes, you need to put your country of origin as a country where you get your product from. That way, it's a lot easier for you to get paid. So then when when the process works, it works through that country, okay? And it just gives the country managers the ability to work with you if you ever have a problem. So again, having said that, and going back to payment options, I don't recommend Payoneer. Now, if you've already got Payoneer and it's working for you, great, no problem. But if you're having problems with it now, let us know, and we believe there's a way we can pull the money back from Payoneer and get you paid a different way. Okay, so let us know if you're having a problem. It's not that the company didn't pay you, but they sent it to one of these vehicles, and the vehicles are taking their own sweet time. As I said, in our country, we do a direct deposit right to our bank account, but that's not usually a viable case for a country that's not officially open yet. Bitcoin, not a lot of Africans are working with Bitcoin. The ones that are could certainly use Bitcoin, and I've met a lot of Africans over there that understand Bitcoin and have their own Bitcoin wallet, and they certainly can be paid through Bitcoin, and that is very, very quick, very easy, a way of doing it. But the way I'm going to recommend is payment option 4, global e-wallet, okay? This is not to be confused with, we have a credit wallet within our company, okay? That is basically a place where you can have money deposited so that you can use that to buy auto ships and things like that. That's an internal thing. This is a separate thing. This is very much like Payoneer, but it's called Global E-Wallet. It hails out of Europe, and it's good in almost every country in the world. So if you're new, or if you haven't, you've been in the business for a while and you're starting to get commissions for the first time and you want a better way to get paid, try the Global E-Wallet. And for us, for people who are already distributors and you're bringing in people, you know, take the time, the moment you sign them up, the moment you enroll them, okay, and they get their website, take them into the website and do what I'm doing right now. Show them this stuff, get them set up immediately, okay, just as quickly as you possibly can, because then even if it takes a little time for it to all happen, it's happening while the person is building their business. If you wait until somebody has built their business and has commissions coming before you fill out these forms, then they're going to have to wait that much longer for their money. And there's nothing like proof of this business is getting that first cash that you can spend, you know? So again, I want to address this today because this seems to be a concern in the African markets and some of the African markets, and I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Now, while we're still here, I'm just going to really quickly go down through when people join, you know, you can go in here to website URLs. That's where all your capture pages are, where you can copy and paste the addresses, send them to your friends, and they can look at what's going on. Okay, so they can see the videos, find out what you're doing, and if they decide to join, it'll automatically be under you because you send them your own personal link. Okay. People ask me a lot of times about the compensation plan. Compensation plan is under tools. You just click on it. There's a 16-page comp plan. 90% of the questions I get asked about the comp plan, if you just take the time to read it, it would explain it better than I can. Okay, so don't be afraid to click on compensation plan and learn exactly all the different great ways we get paid. The other thing I want to show you just before we switch out of this is international expansion. Because so many of you are from other countries, I'm constantly getting calls and texts and things going, are we in such and such a country? And if we are, what do we sell? Okay. The beauty of this here is you just scroll down and you pick the country you want to ask a question about. You know, let's say somebody wanted to know if we sell in Germany. I get a lot of Africans that ask me if we're selling in Germany. So if you click on Germany, it's going to show you all the products that we sell in Germany. Okay? So when people call me up and say, well, can I sell CBD oil in Germany? Well, it's right here. All you have to do is click on your back office and click on the country. Now, the other thing I love about this is if you pick a country, say in Africa, let's say Ghana. People want to know, well, are we in Ghana? What are we selling? Well, in Ghana, Right now, we can sell the sprays, we can sell the travel, we can sell the 2 topical creams, and we're doing very well with those. But if you look down further, you see that we also have an office in Ghana. So if you have people, if you're from the United States or another country in Africa or wherever, and you got friends in Ghana, you want to see what's going on here. Number one, send them your link so that you can tie them to you. So we have a history of you being part of them being part of your pre-enrollee group. Okay, and then you can either you can either tell them where the office is, and they can go to the office and check things out, or you can reach out to Priscilla, who's our country manager, and just introduce yourself and say, hey, I've got such and such is coming to your office. When would be a good time that you could meet her and just kind of show her around? Or you can also call me or Phil, and we'll make arrangements for somebody to meet them when they get there. It's important that you do it in that procedure. If you just send somebody to the office without having already pre-enrolled them, you are risking the fact that somebody there might talk to them and end up signing them, and there's not much we can do about it once they sign with somebody else. So by having them pre-enrolled before they go, it means that we have a paper trail that says, hey, you talk to them first. They're your people, okay? So again, this is just something I wanted to bring to your attention really quick. There's a lot of stuff to learn in this back office. There's tons of training videos in the training, all kinds of stuff you can learn here. This is basically a business in a box. But again, I wanted you to know, number one, let's make sure people get paid. Let's make sure that when you sign people up, you take them in here and you do an orientation for them so they feel comfortable walking around in the back office of their website, and just train them. You know, people are going to do much more business for you, and they're going to talk to more people if they feel comfortable. They know what they're supposed to be doing. So again, as soon as you enroll people, do an orientation, help them get paid, get everything set up for them so they're ready to rock and roll. Okay. So having said that, let me get back out of this and back to where I should be. There, okay. So I hope that helped. I'm a firm believer in if you think there could be something that's causing confusion, address it head on and attack. And that's what I'm trying to do here. A couple weeks ago, we had a call like this. We had Lennon Ledbetter on, and it was so well received. And to be honest with you, I could talk to Lennon for hours and hours and hours, and you'd learn more and more and more every time. I only scratched the surface on the stuff I wanted to ask him, and we had a lot of people ask us if we could do some more of these. Well, I thought rather than starting with somebody else to begin with or do training or anything like that, I thought the best thing to do right now is to bring Lennon back on and let him tell you a little bit more about his business and how he built it. Let me tell you a little bit about Lennon. Lennon is one of the greatest network marketers in history, okay? He's made well over $100 million in this industry since he started. He's never worked, as he tells you, he's never worked a real job in his life. He's been a network marketer since he was 18. He signed up on his 18th birthday. He has written checks for $7 million for homes and $500,000 for cars. He's spoken at sold-out arenas worldwide. He's a master trainer and a fantastic motivator. You'll see that by the time this call is over. He has a passion for our industry. He loves this industry. He gets excited. He resells himself every time he presents. And he re-signs up a lot of us. Every time I listen to him talk, I'm ready to join again. He has a heart of gold. The man, there's no faking the sincerity this man has. He is a wonderful guy. He's always fired up. He's always on. I don't know how he does it. He's like the Energizer Bunny. And I, be honest with you, I'm humbled that I can call him a friend. So with having said that, Lennon, are you on there?
Absolutely, I am here. Yes, sir.
Welcome, welcome. In the last time you were on, I asked you a lot of questions in kind of an interview process, and I'm going to do that to a point this time. But really, what I want to start with, I want you to tell us your story. Start at the beginning. Tell us your story. I know you're going to tell us about how you started off with your first car and you worked your way through the business and everything. And tell us about how you got started, but also tell us about your successes. There's nothing wrong with letting people know where you can go with this kind of industry. So the floor is yours, sir.
Well, thank you. Oh, it is exciting to be back with everybody. It's always exciting. We increase by association. Now, that's a crazy thing that maybe I understand better today than I did back when I was 17. But I'm so grateful that I understood it at least to a degree back when I was 17. In fact, my parents taught me that way early, that you become like those you associate with. So when Dale was saying, tell my story, that's part of my story is that it seemed like when I was hanging around bad children, I was in trouble. When I hang around good kids, I got recognized and won things, and we did things in championships and etc. So it got me excited as a young boy to understand to a little degree that we increase by association. What do we want to increase? So as I got old, so basically, let's just get right into the story, because I think that's so important that whether you're 21 right now, whether you're 55, whether you're 70, whether you're 40, whether you're 36, you're going to increase by association. What do we want to increase? So I'm grateful that I got that, because when I look at other 17-year-olds, I sometimes wonder if they know how to tie their own shoes. And yet here I was already believing that God was a God of abundance and that I wanted to live free. I knew that as I looked around my neighborhood, nobody in my neighborhood had any money. They were all living paycheck to paycheck. So nobody in my neighborhood had a nice car. Nobody in my neighborhood had a nice house. Nobody in my neighborhood had everything all paid for. Yet I could go and see other neighborhoods where there were beautiful homes. So that's why I'm given that foundation, is to get to the point of, I went to a get together like Dale's putting on right now, like this. I got together and I saw some people that were financially free. I went, whoa, these guys are living in the homes of their dreams. These guys are driving the cars of their dreams. These guys are debt free. In other words, they're living their dreams, but they were living my dreams. These guys were living what I'd been looking for. Remember, I was increasing by association. No wonder I didn't have anything. I was hanging around all the people in my neighborhood that didn't have anything. Now, all of a sudden, I was introduced to some people that were financially free. So it got me excited. That's why I told you the foundation of, who do you play with? My parents would teach me. You play with good kids. You become like those you associate with. So see, I had the foundation. So even at age 17, I realized, whoa, if I keep associating with these guys that I'm hanging with, I'm going to stay broke. If I change and start associating with these rich guys, I'm going to be rich. So I said, man, I was getting so excited. So I was 17 years old. I was still in high school. And they wanted me to be 18. So I had to count down the days, and then I finally was 18, and I was still in high school. I hadn't graduated yet. I registered. And then that's all I've ever done. So that's a great blessing too, is that I got signed up on my 18th birthday. Just never had a job in my life, ever. Any kind of a job. Never had a job. Everything we've ever done is because we succeeded in network marketing. We've succeeded in what we're trying to teach you to succeed at. Now that's huge too. If you want to succeed at something, hopefully you're learning from somebody who succeeded at what you're trying to learn what to succeed at. So that's why I stand before you more than any other person I know on the planet Earth. One word. Now you can think of other words, but the one word I'm looking for is evidence. Evidence. I stand before you, evidence, more than anybody I know, because I've never had a job. Everything, every home, everything, all paid for, all bought and paid for, because we succeeded at this. Because we've never done anything else. Never had a job. Everything was paid for because we succeeded at what we're teaching you to succeed at. Increase by association, increase by association. I was amazed at the very beginning. I was so excited. I was all over these guys. And I remember one rich guy was there, and I said, and he could tell I was excited. He says, can you answer 3 questions for me? Can you answer 3 questions? I thought, well, if they're not hard, because sometimes my teachers at school ask me hard questions. He said, number 1, can you say yes to your dream? Can you say yes to your dream? I'm thinking, yeah, I want my dreams. I just told you what my dreams were. Yes, I want to be rich and free, and I want to have a nice house, and I want to be debt free. He says, no, a lot of guys selling wolf tickets, man. They like, oh, they make a lot of noise, but don't go anywhere. They're not doing anything. They just talk like what they're going to do. So can you say yes to your dream? Can you say yes to yourself? I thought to myself, well, yeah, I'm serious about my dreams. Yes, yes, I'm saying yes to myself. I'm saying yes to my dreams. Good. I thought I'm 1 for 1. Okay, question 2, he said, can you say yes to this team? I thought, well, that's an easier question. I don't have any other team of millionaires. There's not another team with Dale and Phil and Lennon and others willing to help me. I said, I don't have anybody else at my high school. There's nobody else at my high school that's a millionaire willing to teach me how to be free. There's no other team that's putting on seminars and videos and Zooms and helping me be free. So yes, I can say yes to this team. I'm joining this team. Yes, I'm on this team. Yes to the team. So now I'm 2 for 2. I said yes to my dream. I said yes to this team. I said yes to my dream. I said yes to this team. I said yes to my dream. I said yes to this team. 2 for 2. And he said, number 3, are you a quitter? Are you a quitter? Ooh, I got a little offended. When it was 2-day football practices, I didn't quit. No, I'm not a quitter. He says, good, because everything it takes can be learned. So you join and you don't quit, and everything can be learned. So you say yes to your dream, you say yes to this team, and you don't quit, and everything in between will teach you. Well, you know, I was 17 years old, and I did say yes to my dream. I did say yes to this team, and I have never quit. And everything they said was true. I learned, I did, and here we are. And many of those people have passed away. The people doing that talking have passed away. But that's why we're still carrying the torch. That's why we're still carrying the torch. So I'm supposed to be telling you more of my story, and I'm telling you, I'm trying to get you excited to say yes to your story. I'm trying to get you to create your story. Create your story for legacy for your children. It was so fun the other day. We did a Zoom call with my dad, and my dad was talking, and he was saying, do it, get excited, and telling how his life is so blessed. And then I had my son come on, and yeah, do it, how his life is so blessed. I was excited. 3 complete generations of success. I was adding more to my story of evidence that this idea has worked, is working, and will work. Because right in front of us, you had my dad in his 90s and my son in different generations, just all these years, man. Success for years and generations. Do you want generations of success? So you be the start. But that's what I did. So I got excited, you know, and then we got started. But man, in the beginning, I was driving my little $125 Volkswagen, and I was like, I had bigger dreams. Dale, I mean, I'll go more into the story, but I know you may want to steer me a little bit for me not to just keep talking. But I want all of you on the call to get the depth of what I was just saying, because I can't wait to tell you more about some of my successes, some fun things. I'll tell you more. I was just giving you the start of the story that said yes to my dream, and we're changing generations. That your children's children yet unborn will be, my son's children will be different lives. because we said yes and changed the destiny, because we had courage to say yes to our dream, courage to say yes to the team, and by golly, courage to never quit. Never quit, never quit, never quit, never quit. Quitters never win, winners never quit. I never quit, I never quit, I never quit. Yet so many people, man, they quit everything. So that's a huge thing. That's why we increase by association. That helps us not quit. That helps us keep believing. Dale said it at the beginning. You say, tell your story. I think you wanted more of my story, but I am given the foundation. This is my story, that I choose to associate with Dale. Dale chooses to associate with me. He said earlier, we talk to each other and we get excited, we inspire each other up. Exactly my point. That's my story. I learned that you increase by association, and I believe that with all my heart, that I choose to never miss an event. I choose. I love being here. I hope this is firing you up, but I know it's firing me up. See, every time I give, I tell people, I'm talking to myself and I'm letting you listen in. Even today, I'm just talking to myself and letting you listen in. In other words, I get myself fired up, because every time I'm speaking to you, I'm still speaking to me. See, I hear my own words. I'm firing myself up. It's like we increase by, so I choose to associate with believers. Early on, I was one of the smart things I did is I said, okay, I'll never miss an event. Whether it was live or a Zoom, I just knew that my upline, the millionaires, they only had 30 days in a month, like I only had 30 days in a month. But I knew that I needed them. They didn't need me. See, that was crazy in the beginning. I thought, wow, my upline's really going to make money now that they have me on their team. I'm thinking, me and Dale my upline was free without me. It's like they didn't need me, but I sure needed them. See, if I joined or didn't join, built or didn't build, it wouldn't have changed their lifestyle at all. They were already millionaires. But if they worked with me, it would totally change my lifestyle, because I was living at home, didn't even have an apartment, and had a little $100 car. So I realized every time they turned around, I wanted them to see my face. I said, I'm going to plug in, because number one, I want to learn what they know. But number two, I want them to see that I'm committed. So I need them. I want to be on their calendar. I want to be on their schedule. I want to be, if they only got 30 days in a month to build, I want some of those 30 days with me. So I increased again, I increased by association, because they learned soon that I really was a young guy with the eye of the tiger, that I was hungry, that I was committed, because every time they turned around, they were seeing me. I was always the first one to the meeting. I was always the last one to leave. If it was live, if it was a Zoom call, I was still always there. I wanted to know what they knew, but I also wanted them to know I was committed to them. See, if you want to get excited and if you want somebody's attention, value what they value. And anyway, that's another story. We're back on my story. But my story of success was that I really did a couple of basic things, and those basic things just changed everything. And I find that certain people, even today, they don't do some of the basic things, like change some of their associations. They got to change their thinking. There's just simple things that anybody can do. Tall people, short people, fat people, skinny people, black people, white people, married, single, male, female, high school dropouts, college PhD, anybody can do. I love that part of our business, that everything it takes to be successful can be learned, and anybody can do everything that we do. Everything. I love it, but I can't wait. I'll tell more of my story. I want to tell a couple of little stories about, I don't know, success, and get them dreaming again. I'm excited, Dale.
Lennon, and this is working out just the way I hoped it would, because the thing about people getting this business, they're used to, hearing about the great things, but and the first time they run into a wall, they run into a challenge. They haven't heard about that yet, so they're not prepared for that. And there is this business. Well, you know, one thing that I've heard everywhere I've ever gone to, all the conventions I've ever gone to, and all the leaders in network marketing I've ever heard speak, they all had one thing in common, one simple thing that was in common with all of them. They all said during their talk when they were up there on stage, "I almost quit a dozen times, but I didn't." Okay. And I think that's so important because it tells people that it's not a straight run to the top. There's challenges. Okay. And you have to meet those challenges to get to where you are. But we have to do that with no matter what business you're in, you're going to have challenges. You're going to have days when you just can't believe you have to put in the hours and the hard work. And this is no different. To get to where you got in this business, you have to have the strength of character to forge on when you have bad days. I would like you to tell us a couple challenges you had along the way. Before I hear about, I'm going to ask you later on to tell me about some of your successes, but I'd love to hear about some of your challenges first.
Oh, I'll just tell one quick little story here, but it's so funny that in the beginning, I just thought all my friends would say yes. It's like they'd been griping to me. Now, remember, I was going to high school, but still, my friends would all say, "I wish I had a nice car. Oh, if I only had a nice car." If my friends would say, "Oh, if I only had money, I could go take this girl to the date," or, in other words, they were always still, my mom said the older people were whining about no money too. But I'm saying my friends were saying, "I'd love to take that girl to the amusement park, but they can't afford that. So they took them to some little local movie or something." And I'm just saying they were always complaining about not having money. So I just knew when I went and showed them all, boy, they'd all say yes because they'd been complaining for a long time. Now here we got the answer to their complaining. And then they complained about what we were sharing with them. So yeah, I just realized that some people are just gonna be. But I still was trying. I was sharing. And also in the beginning, I was trying to show my upline that I was a leader. So I was out talking to everybody. Another time we'll do more training and I'll say how I finally learned how to edify and get myself out of the way and let my upline talk to my people. Oh, that made a big difference. But let's just tell you that I was getting discouraged because I was talking to everybody. I was thinking that I was doing it. I was trying. It wasn't like some people, my dad calls it paralysis of analysis. They sit home and think about it all the time. Their brain's thinking about what they're going to do all the time. They're thinking about it all the time. They're thinking. And then they wonder why it's not working because they're not working. They're home thinking about working. No, I was out working. But I remember one story where I actually was excited because I had a couple of friends who were living in a state away. So I had to drive there to show the plant. And I was like tight on money. So it was a big deal to drive, to spend the money for the gas. But they told me they were going to do it. And they were a couple of professional athletes, all excited. So I went, whoa, this is going to be great. They were in a farm team for the Oakland A's and baseball. And so I was excited, man. And so I said, these guys are great. They said they got other ball players and all the girls that are following the ball players. It's going to be a big crowd. So I said, okay. And so I drove all the way up there. And when I got there, they played the game. And then when the game was over, then we were going to, all the people that were at the game were going to come over to their place. And we were going to show the plan. And they were supposed to be set up that the big man was coming to get him excited. Well, they all decided to go to the movies and play. They said, just come to the movies with us. And anyway, there was no meeting. They didn't set it up. They didn't do any prep work. I spent the whole day driving and everything. And why didn't they spend the same amount of time as I spent putting into their business? Why didn't they put the same amount of time into their business as I put into their business? But anyway, so I got very discouraged because I said, no, I'm building my dream. I'm building a team and we're going to live our dreams. So no, I'm not going to go play and goof off and you guys are going to get all drunk and play with the girls. And I said, no, I came to do a meeting and you guys didn't even care. So I was very sad. You know, that was very discouraging. So then I start driving home at nighttime now, and I'm driving all the way through this state called Idaho. And I finally just so discouraged, I'm crying, and I just don't know if this is going to work. So I pull in. Now here I am. I pull off into a field, a big old field, just way out in the dirt, just drove off the road. And I got out there, and I just got out of my car and shut the door. I got up on the hood. I had to be a little careful because I was big. I didn't want the hood to cave in on my little Volkswagen. But I got on it, and I was leaning against the windshield, and I was looking up in the sky, and I was just seeing the sky, and I was just crying like, man, God, I don't know if this is going to work for me. Is this going to work? Why is this what you have me doing? You know, I had all these questions because I thought I saw the plan that said, you go get a few, and they go get a few, and they go get a few, and they go get a few. Man, it's just going to be easy. You just go talk to your friends who've all been belly aching for the last 10 years, and you just show the belly achers, and you have an answer, and they'll join, and you're free. And then I realized that I was just very discouraged. So I hung out for a while, said, God, I got to know if this is what you want me to do with my life. Because here I am dedicating my life to helping people be free, but I don't have no people to help. I'm willing to help them be free, but I don't have anybody joining. In fact, they won't even come to the meeting. So anyway, I finally get back in my car and start driving on the highway, and I still have a few hours drive before I get home. And can you believe around midnight, and a little gas station, I can still show you the gas station. It's still there. Little gas station out in the middle of nowhere, just from a town called Ogden, Utah. And I pulled into the gas station to put a little $1 or $2 of gas in. And I was so sad that I didn't really pay attention as I was putting the gas in. The only other car in this gas station, it pulled in. And when I got done putting the gas in, then I looked up at the only other man in the gas station filling up his tank. And I said, Dad, what are you doing here? He said, well, I'm out driving the roads of America, helping people be free. But tonight I felt like I was supposed to drive this way. Tonight I felt I was supposed to drive this way. Well, I went over and I hugged my dad. I started crying. I says, Dad, I don't know if this is going to work for me. He says, He says, you're having trouble with belief. He says, do you think it'll work for me? I go, Dad, I know it'll work for you. I don't have any trouble believing it'll work for you. I'm having trouble believing it'll work for me. Wherever you go, people do show up. You talk and people listen. You are making money. He goes, then let's work tighter together. Do you believe if we work tighter together that it'll work for us? I said, yeah. Well, he drove out of that gas station that night driving home, because remember, I was still living at home. And what's funny, so I followed those two taillights. You see, I followed my dad home that night. I watched his taillights. See, I followed we were still about an hour and a half from home. So I followed those taillights the hour and a half home that night. And I followed those taillights all the way to personal financial freedom for me and my children, my children's children, my children's children's children, yet unborn. Praise God. There's a magic God out there. There's magic out there. Here I was. What made my dad stop at that gas station? What made me stop at that gas station? Out of all the gas stations in the world, that same night, the only two people at midnight I followed those taillights all the way to freedom. But yeah, that changed my life because again, increased by association. I was so discouraged. Yes. Did it immediately everybody? I tried to get people to come. I just realized that it's my job to share it. It's their job to receive it. But find somebody whose taillights are worthy to follow. I thank God I had taillights that were worthy to follow. And if you'll plug in and follow the taillights of your upline, man, you're going to be free because you keep staying positive. That way it never bugged me ever again that this thing wasn't going to work. I knew this would work. Did I still have people say no? Yeah. I call it yeses and nos. And it's like some say yes, some say no. Heck, some say yes, but do no. Yikes, they confused me. They said yes, but then they did no. So yeses, nos, and yeses, but do nos. So I just said, okay. But it never discouraged me again because I realized I could be free if I just stayed plugged in. And, but yeah, it is, there are so many discouraging things. And I could tell you funny stories too of like the time that I set up my whiteboard in the house, put it by the piano, and I'm sitting there showing the plan and I'm talking to the people, and then all of a sudden I turn around and a big old snake is sticking out over the board. Yikes, I jump over to the couch and then another snake's crawling. I go, what's all the snakes? I go, what are they doing? They said, oh, well, that's our pet boa constrictor and our pet python, and we let them crawl around. I go, what did you tell me? I said, can you just go put them in the freezer for a little bit? And, but I'm just saying, funny stories that those aren't discouraging, but I mean, I'm just saying that was freaky. I'll tell you more stories of all kinds of things that have happened along the way. But we just stay the course, stay the course, stay the course. It's been a wonderful life, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I'm actually more excited about the future than the past. I think of all the great past we've had, and I think our future is going to be, I firmly believe that I'll do in 2 years here what took me 20 before. Absolutely. I firmly believe it. I'm claiming it right now in the name of Jesus with you, for sure.
You know, Lennon, sometimes I'm amazed how in sync we are, because when I was sitting down here making these questions, I was thinking of that exact story that you just told as what I'd wanted you to say, but I didn't want to lead you. I wanted you to give what you felt like you wanted to give, but it was just amazing. We're right there on the exact same thought. Now, we've talked about the discouraging parts, and we know you've made millions and millions and millions of dollars. And because of that, when back in the day when you first started in this business, it was a lot about, you had to show people, the nice cars and things like that, so to make them a believer. Now, network marketing is more people know about network marketing, and they understand the value of network marketing. But back then, there was a lot of people that you had to show them. You had to show them the diamond, the expensive watches with the diamonds on them. You had to show the fancy cars and the fancy houses. And I want to take that and I want to tie it into a story you told about your high school reunion. Okay, you tell the story, and again, it emphasizes that you always must protect your dream, and by protecting it means you have to allow other people to see your dream, to know their dream is possible. And so, tell us a little bit more about your story about your reunion, please.
Okay, yes, and Jimmy is a little agreeing with what you just said. Now, I do believe it's more about how we give and help, and what are most people's dreams, or I want to help and give to others. But really, it is true that people still want to have a nice car and still want to have a beautiful home. But back in the day, we were trying to establish credibility. So many of you praise God for people like me, and I shouldn't have said me specific, but the people that led me. Praise God, those guys were willing to take all the crap and the bullets so that we have a business today for you. Because back then, the number one thing you would get was, is it legal? Is this a pyramid scheme? And all this stupid stuff that now nobody asks, because everybody knows that there's just so many networks winning that it's just the same thing that those guys had to battle we don't have to battle. And so I really am proud of those guys and honored that many times they had to get a big home just so just so the world could say, oh, somebody can make money. It's a real business that can really make money. I think that's why in the beginning, Rolls Royces were a big deal. Lots of people today, even when they have a lot of money, may not choose a Rolls Royce. But back in the day, whatever the richest car was, you put a Rolls Royce and a Ferrari so that people said, oh, you got money. So I'm agreeing with Dale real quick. But I'll tell you what excites me is that I really did have my friends. We talked about cars when we were young. I've always been a car nut. So that's partly why I've had so many cars, is because it's kind of my thing. Somebody else may love horses. Somebody else may love farmland. You know, it's whatever your dream is, you get to have. But when me and my friends were young, we always talked about the cars we were going to drive, the cars we were going to have when we grew up. These were tough guys, my friends. All of us talked. We talked. And so I'm going to let you in on a secret. I think we were a little bit more girl crazy than car crazy. I think why we really all wanted a fancy car is that we thought if we had a fancier car, we could catch a hotter girl. So yeah, but we were going to get those hot fancy cars so we catch those hot girls. But we all talked about the cars we were going to have. The words of our mouth. I spoke it out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. I spoke it. I put my name to it. I told them the cars I was going to have. So, of course, I shared the cars I was going to have. So I was going to have. They shared with me the cars they were going to have. So we all said with the words of our mouth, we put our oaths to it. Anyway, it was so funny because we were all going to high school talking about our cars. Well, it seemed like that fast. And it was our 10-year high school reunion. Can you believe that? I know in Africa, everywhere, they still have reunions. Like after 10 years, we all got together again, called it the 10-year high school reunion. Well, man, I look at my cars and I say, which one do I take to the high school reunion? Do I take the big sedan Mercedes? What do I take? So I decided on the little sports car Mercedes, because I wanted to go kind of humble. Like I hadn't seen some of my friends in years. And so it was like, go humble. So I said, well, the Mercedes is still kind of a money car. It's a Mercedes, but it's kind of sporty. It's a convertible. It's a 2-seater. Yeah, okay. I'll take that. Well, I pulled into my high school parking lot and I didn't think I was at the right place. I looked at all the little old cars, the little old junky, dumpy, nothing worthless cars. Medium cars. I don't want to put everybody down, but I'm just saying it looked like an average parking lot in front of a Walmart or something, just a regular old looking place. And I thought I was at the wrong place. So I looked up, I saw the sign. It said Golden Tigers. I thought, that's what I was. I looked over at the football field. It's the one I played on with the track that I ran around. I go, yeah, I guess I'm at the right place. So I went in and yep, I was at the right place. And I talked to all my friends, had a good time, went back, got in my car. And as I was driving home, what did I think in my own little head about my friends? In my own little head, all by myself, just talking to me. I'm driving alone in my car. And this is what I decided about my friends. These guys who had told me what they were going to do. I decided to cut them some slack. That's what I did. I said, cut them some slack, man. Cut them some slack. How can you expect a man to get a nice car in only 10 years? Come on, cut them some slack. They've only had 10 years. I didn't say get a beautiful home, multiple cars, debt-free, travel. No, I said a car, singular, one car. How can you expect a man to get one car in only 10 years? So I cut him some slack, man. I said, it's all right. They just haven't had enough time. But you know what I noticed? The very thing, it seemed like that fast, like a blink. It was like a blink. And all of a sudden, it was my 20-year high school reunion. See, 10 years. Well, now it's my 20-year high school reunion. I'm thinking, well, now I'm not going show off. I mean, not going humble. I've had 20 years. I'm showing off, man. This is show off time. Like 20 years, they've had time. So I thought, do I take the Ferrari? Do I take the big four-door sedan Rolls Royce? Do I take the convertible Rolls Royce? Do I take the $1 million motor coach with the Rolls Royce tow car? Yeah, that's what I'll do. Now I decided I'll just take the convertible Rolls Royce, you know. And anyway, so the thing is, this is what I noticed. I pulled up to my 20-year high school reunion. Now remember, 20 years. That means they've had longer since high school than 0 to high school graduation. See, 0 birth to high school graduation, 17 or 18. Then our 10-year reunion, we were 27 or 28. Now we're 37, 38. We've had 20 years. So I didn't want to be humble this time. I was showing off because they've had 20 years. I pulled into the parking lot of my high school reunion, and do you know what I noticed? The cars were worse. The cars were worse. They were worse at the 20 than at the 10 because, see, the 10-year reunion, everybody was still 27 or 28 years old. 27 or 28 years old. Most were single. Many were single. They could still put all their money into themselves. By the time they were 20-year reunion, they were 37 or 38. And they were mostly married now with 2 or 3 little kids. They said that's where the money had to go. Wow. Well, I was friendly to everybody. But as I went back, got in my car, and started to drive away, what did I think in my head? What did I think in my head about my friends? Guys I went to school with, that I grew up with. Man, it's funny. I thought, cut them some slack, man. Again, cut them some slack. How can you expect a man, a real man, to get a nice car in only 20 years? Cut him some slack. You can't expect a man to get a car in only 20 years of home to work, worked home, home to work, worked home, home to work, worked home for 20 years. No, I couldn't cut him some slack because they had 20 years. They've had 20 years to do what they said they were gonna do with their mouth. So, yeah, I couldn't cut him some slack. So this is what I wondered in my own little head. I thought to myself, I wonder if it was on a Tuesday or a Thursday or a Friday. I wondered if it was just after breakfast. Was it just before dinner? Were they alone? Were they in front of their wife? I wondered, when was the exact moment in time that they gave up on their dream? When did they give up? When did they quit? When was the exact moment in time that they gave up on their dream? Because I was there when they told me their dream. I was also there 20 years later when none had their dream but me. So, I wondered when they quit. So I have not been perfect in life. Every decision I've made since I was born to this moment, I haven't been exactly perfect. But in this one way, I have been perfect. In this one way, for sure, I have been perfect my whole life. I've never given up on my dreams. I've protected myself from the dream thieves. The dream thieves are out there. Oh, they're out there, man. The dream thieves. I tell you about them last time. I'll tell you about them in the future too. But sometimes they're hiding behind a fern, man. You're walking along. Whoa, they'll jump out and try and steal your dream. They surprise you. But sometimes, man, they're at your Thanksgiving dinner table. Sometimes they're in bed with you. Sometimes they're close, those dream thieves. You got to protect yourself from the dream thieves, the people that'll tell you why you cannot do it. I protected, and Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill says, a mind closed tightly against all negative influences. I drew out and I chose to associate with the positive. I chose to associate with the positive. and I chose to disassociate from the negative. But I had a mind closed tightly against the dream thieves and all negative. And then I proactively chose to make sure I was on the Zoom calls. I was at the event so I could associate with the positive. My friends, I've taken long on a couple of my stories today. That's why we'll do another one of these. But the thing is that they're out there. Do protect yourself from the dream thieves. Do hang on to your dream. Hang on. Sometimes the dream thieves, sometimes I tell people the dream thief mostly you got to keep protected from is your own self-talk. Why you tell you why you can't do it. That's why we're associating. But yeah, I mean, the point of that story that Dale could put in if he wants, or I'll put in right now, but another main point of that story is that they all had dreams. You see, if we're not careful, 20 years is going to go, whoa, it was just Christmas. And now all of a sudden it's like August, it's almost Christmas again. It's like those of you that just had a birthday. Or it's like you see a little kid be born and then all of a sudden it's 2. You know, whoa, 2 years old. It's like potty train. It's like that fast. What I'm trying to say is time is going to go. Jump on this train with us, this team right now, and change your life in the next couple of years. Change your life. But if not, it's still going to go by. That's why when people say fear, I say, is your dream bigger or your fear bigger? And people get fear to contact. They go fear to contact. I go, man, pick your fear. I would rather overcome the fear of contacting people than live with the fear of knowing that I got to live for the next 40, 50 years, paycheck to paycheck, little house, little car, lots of debt, lousy life, wondering if anything happened to me, would I be able to afford a doctor? I mean, that's the fear I'm going to avoid more. I'm going to overcome the fear of contacting a lot quicker than the fear of living 40 years broke. Man, that's the fear I would get over. I just said, fear polarizes people. So, but the time's going to go. You could be, there's dreamers out there that when they were young dating, they dreamed. But then all of a sudden, 20 years later, boy, where'd the 20 years go? They go, man, I've been married 31 years. Or they say, I've been married 22 years. Where'd the time go? It seemed like just that fast. But time is going to pass anyway. Whether you get on board with me and Dale right now or don't, we're going to the top. This train has left the station. We are moving to the top. That I promise you. So that's exciting. So I hope that helped a little bit, just to realize that I get emotional about that because the time passes for everybody. And don't give up on your dream. It's never too late to start too, by the way. If all of a sudden you've hit 50 or all of a sudden you've hit 40, that's what's always been so funny about this. Some people say, I don't know if I can do it. I'm too young. I don't know if I can do it. I'm too old. If I was only younger, if I was only older. It's funny. That's why you got girls in the bathroom. One's got a curling iron, curling her straight hair, and the other girl's got a straight iron, straightening her curly hair. No, the girl with straight hair is trying to make it curly, and the girl with curly hair is trying to make it straight. I wish I could just cut each other's hair off, and switch them. So it's just funny how people, it's just the way they are. So, but time's going to go. So let's get on with it. I hope that answers your questions, Dale. But gosh, I get excited about you guys, man. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's explode all these countries. Let's be the fastest growing thing that's ever hit in the history of planet Earth. I'm with you.
Thanks, Lennon. I want to speak to all of you out there. The questions I asked today, knowing Lennon the way I do and getting the answers he gave back, was exactly what I was going for. Our company and our team, okay, any of you that have met me and know me, know that I tell it like it is. Okay. I'm not a sis boom rah type of guy. I don't have that type of charisma anyway. But the bottom line is, you know, a lot of people that get on these calls and the whole call for an hour is sis boom rah, we're going to make money, you're going to make money, you're going to be rich, you're going to do all this. But you don't hear any of the realities of it. Okay. This is like any other business. The only difference between this business and any other business is most business you have to work, like Lennon said, 40 years, for at least 40 hours a week for 40 years to retire on 40% of your income, okay? With this business, put in 2 to 5 years. Put in 2 to 5 years, hard years. And when I say hard, I mean inviting people to calls is not a hard job, but it's a job you have to be organized for. But put in 2 to 5 years and take those other 35 to 38 years that you would have taken working for somebody else, and they're yours. They're yours to do what you want with, to spend more time with your family, okay? Right now, there's basically 2 types of people. There's rich people that have no time because they're working all the time, and there's people who have all kinds of time, but they don't have any money, so, you know, what are they going to do with their time, right? What this business and what our team, because I hope you know me well enough to know that this is my calling for the rest of my life, is the fact I want to help as many people as possible get to a point where they can have as much of their life to enjoy with their family. I love family. My family comes first. This African family is like my extended family. That's what I'm asking you for, is give me 2 to 5 years hard work doing this, and we will give you the other 35 to 38 years of your life to do what you want to do, okay? And the reason I did what I did today was because I wanted you to see that we aren't the classic network marketing company where all you see is the Ken and the Barbie people that get up on stage and they're all perfectly dressed and their hair is perfect and everything, and everything that they ever did was successful. They never had to struggle. You know, this business, we're trying to make this real for you. This business you have to work. You have to struggle with this business. You have to take the emotional negativity that comes with it. But the rewards are so fantastic that, I mean, it changes your lives. I see Joshua sitting there nodding his head at me. He knows it. He's always gotten it. I know many of the rest of you have too. So again, that's why we presented the way we did. I don't want you to think that this is just, you're going to wake up tomorrow morning, you're going to be rich. You're going to have to work for it. But we're going to be there to help you. As Lennon's always said, the team and the dream. The team can do more for you than you can do for yourself. Okay? I've heard him say that a million times, and it's absolutely true every time he says it. So after saying that, Lennon, would you like to have just a short closeout to finish up the story?
It's been a great call. I appreciate you. I appreciate the leaders that are on the call that we talked about at the beginning. I'm just honored to be part of the team. I always say that was the thing I loved about sports. Even if you said football or over in Africa, maybe it's more soccer. But I played, it was more just being part of the team. I love that. I'm telling you that I do love the idea that we belong to something bigger, that it's like men work hard for money, men, we work hard for money, but we always work harder for a cause or a movement. It's like, get excited about the movement, the freedom movement. We've always built, yes, we move products. I love our products that work for people. I like the pay plan. I like the money, but it's really the movement that what keeps us going is that I'm part of something bigger than myself. I'm part of something that's making a difference. I always say, let's have fun, let's make money, and let's make a difference. If we're going to be alive, let's have fun. If we're going to be alive, let's make money. But for sure, let's make a difference so that after we leave, we've left a legacy. We've made a difference. That's what I love about what Dale's talking about, is that we really are a team that's making a difference, and just being part of that brotherhood, that sisterhood, that teamhood, it's honor. It's just really exciting. So I can't wait to be with you again. Like Dale always says, can't wait for the coronavirus to get over so we can be doing big live events again, because there's nothing like being in a big old ballroom with the energy going. And That's what I love, getting on stage and thousands of people just can't shut up for 10 minutes clapping. Yeah, my dreams are coming true. Yeah, I love the energy we can create when we're all in one room together and we just lift that roof off and somehow it just lands back perfect. But we always lift that roof with the noise we make because we're chasing our dreams. We're chasing our passion. And so thanks, Dale, for letting me share.
Thanks, Lennon. And thanks for everybody that came on. I can't, as Lennon said, I can't wait until this coronavirus is controlled and I can come back and visit you guys. It's like a second home to me. And so this concludes this call. I know I'd like to get you guys give back feedback on the call on our message board, and we'll probably do another one of these within a couple weeks. So just let us know if you're enjoying what we're doing, and let us know if there's something specific you'd like to see. All right. So let's end this call. Be blessed, everybody. Take care.